Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. It's been a while, but I have been a little bit busy. So, we are back. It is a Saturday. So, I'm only going to wrap it up. A quick 1 hour live stream just to update you guys on all the recent announcements and news and all that stuff that's pretty much happened. And some of it is very important and it is going to affect the market, I think, over the next month or two. But I think one of the most important one was this move that this happened. This was something that we did say was going to happen. I said we are going to go into a new all-time high and then have some sort of drop to the 100k region. This is something I posted in the private group like 2 to 3 days before it actually happened. So you have this 5-wave drop and then obviously a bounce off the 50-day moving average. But as long as we can stay in this region right here past this line, I think Bitcoin structurally is okay to keep going higher. Now, if we break past 106, then this formation is going to be very bullish for the market itself. Ethereum is still surprisingly holding really well. We do want it to get above the bull market support band. That would be ideal, but all of this, I would say dominance is obviously going to continue going higher in the short term. And the more uncertainty we have in the markets, the higher dominance is going to go. And all that bullshit that Trump and Elon was doing over the fucking last couple of days, stuff like that just pushes dominance higher. And that's exactly what happened over here. You see, dominance came down, basically bounced off the 50-day moving average and now wants to go higher. And that is mainly because of uncertainty. And one of the things that I think is very important and we do need to keep an eye out on is the 10-year bond market. Now, it did go very high to 4.6, came back down, and then, like I said, it bounced off the 50-day moving average and now wants to go higher. 4.5% for the 10-year bond is very, very high because what this does is it basically makes borrowing costs a lot higher. And you guys got to understand the whole point of Trump dumping the markets was to bring this down. So when it wants to refinance the debt, they don't have to pay. This is the problem, and this is why Trump is so angry with Powell, because if Powell was to cut the rates, give it a month or two, the 10-year bond market will probably come down to about 4%. 4%. If it cuts again, it will probably come down even lower than what it was back in the April dump. And this is basically what Trump wants, because for every percent that this comes down, the US government saves approximately 70 to 80 billion dollars. So if you can bring this down to 3%, they're saving hundreds of billions. But because the higher this goes, when it's time to refinance the debt, which is like $7 trillion, it's going to cost them a lot more to if Powell cut the rates. And this is going to put more pressure on Powell to actually cut the rates, because if they don't, then the government side is just going to have to pay hundreds of billions more to refinance it. And they are going to increase the deficit as well, not the deficit, sorry, the debt ceiling to like an extra 4-5 trillion, which means they're going to just continue to print. And this is something that we've been talking about over and over again, because the reality is this Ponzi scheme, the fiat Ponzi scheme, relies on printing. There's nothing else they can do. I don't know what Elon is doing. He's talking about they need to cut the deficit. They can't cut the deficit because most of the money they spend on the government side comes from healthcare. They're not going to cut healthcare. The society is not going to like them cutting healthcare spending. Military, they're not going to cut military because their whole Ponzi scheme dollar relies on the military being as strong as possible, if not the strongest in the world. So they can't do any of those, and those are the biggest spenders of the deficit. So Elon tried, and he did cut approximately 500 billion with the Doge, but moving forward, I don't really see them doing too much in terms of reducing the deficit. I think this Ponzi scheme is going to carry on for another like 4 or 5 years, and then everything will just collapse. And eventually we'll probably have some new system, but till then you're going to see a lot more printing, and that's why alt season will happen. It's just a matter of patience. Now, I know for some people, a lot of people are impatient because what they do is they come into crypto, they hear the stories that some guy made stupid amounts of money in 1 year, 2 years. Yes, but you have to come in at the right time. You can't come in when Bitcoin's at 70K, back in 2023, 2024, and they expect to make the same amount of money as the people that rolled it from 15K all the way up to 70K. You're not going to make the same amount of money as those. So you have to come into the bear market in order to see the most returns. At this stage of the market, the best thing you guys could do is go for safe risk, safe plays, not too much risk. 1 second, I need to put my laptop on charge. Not too much risk, because there's always going to be other cycles, and the most money most people will ever make is in a bear market, and people don't realize this. Shit. Okay. I'll go over some of the macro stuff in a second. Ben, good to see you, my friend. I have so many coins that I want to consolidate, but now seems really bad time to sell anything. Yeah, what coins do you want to consolidate? It depends what you think about, right? You gotta think about it like this. If you can sell something and put into an asset that's going to give you more returns, then it's worth, compared to something that's just dead. If something is dead and they're not developing, then there's no reason for you to hold it. Even if it's down 80, 90%, the reality is that coin might never recover. Whereas you can put it into something that can, and at least get your money back, if not make 5 to 10x on top. Great, good to see you, my friend. What's my opinion on Beam and Sonic? I think Beam will do well, but the only problem is Beam is obviously strictly correlated with gaming, and gaming is so dead. Now, at some point, if we have a normal alt season, obviously gaming will have a pump. And Sonic, I personally would not invest into Sonic, because the problem with Sonic, or previously Phantom, is they did this massive airdrop, for I think it's season 1 airdrop. And what happened was, during that season 1, most people that fucking farmed this for months and months only got like 30, 10, 20, $30. And when you fuck up the airdrop, a lot of people that have been farming this for months, they get really pissed off. And you can't blame them. If you farm something and help the ecosystem for months and you only get rewarded $30, $40, like that fucking you guys remember that one on what was it? Hamster Combat. People were farming that for months and they only got like $10 and it just died out. So that's what happens. Airdrops build a community, and if you piss off the community, all they're gonna do is go in your comment section and just fucking FUD the shit out of this. And that's what they're doing with Sonic. So I personally would not invest into Sonic. Declan, good to see you, boy. Smash the like button as well. I would appreciate that. Matt, good to see you. Good to see you as well, my friend. Maybe a pessimistic question, but in your opinion, will we really be able to exit profit this year? Definitely, we will definitely exit with profits this year. You gotta keep in mind, right? And I tell people this all the time. Markets are never going to go in one direction. And for the whole year, or this year specifically, we've only gone down. The market has to give you glimpses of hope. So, the people that get trapped are the people that get trapped because they see that hope and they think that hope is coming again. And that hope will come again, because the big players need exit liquidity. So when they're ready to push the markets up and bring new investors in, whether it's retail investors or it's people holding the bag for too long, they need that exit liquidity. So they're always going to pump it up. And I think that pump is coming fairly soon. It's going to happen where most people don't expect it. I mean, for the last 10 days, BlackRock has been buying Ethereum nonstop. Nonstop, they've been accumulating it for 10 days straight, and they've bought approximately $500 million worth of ETH. Now, that could be a distraction for them to basically make people stop buying Bitcoin. But it could also be that there's something big coming for Ethereum, or something's going to happen with the Fed. Because if the Fed cuts, all coins outperform BTC on average. And I think that's probably what they're expecting, especially with the yield so high. This, like I said, puts way more pressure on Powell to cut rates, because if this goes to 4.8 to 5%, it's going to be a little bit of a crash in the markets. You have to keep that in mind. If this continues to go higher, spending continues to go higher, the average person, when they want to borrow money, it becomes more expensive for them. Mortgages and stuff go a little bit higher as well. So the 10-year is very important. Obviously, we want this as low as possible. And this is what Trump done to crush the markets initially, from 4.8% all the way down to 3.8%. And then everything just rallied back up. So It's a weird situation to be in, but definitely, I think if this continues to go higher, you are definitely going to see another crash in the markets. But it'll be one of those crashes where the Fed will have to like rapidly cut rates. They might just do 50 basis points here, couple weeks emergency, 50 basis points there. That's the type of cut they're going to do. And this is the problem with Powell, is he doesn't do it too fast. And then eventually, when everything just goes to shits, then he wants to magically start cutting 50, 50, 50, or 1 basis points even, who knows. That's the problem with Powell, and that's what Trump gets pissed off about. Because obviously the Fed and the government separate. Whatever the Fed is doing is the Fed's is a private company. Government's obviously government, and that's why Trump is so frustrated with him. Mugen, good to see you as well. Loading up on the prop base. I have also been loading up on prop base. Prop base held up really well on this previous dump, and I think one of the main reasons is held up is because of the exchange listing they have coming. So the exchange listing they have coming is apparently the guy said that it's in the top 5. So it's either going to be an OKX, a Bybit, a kucoin. Some of the good tier 2 exchanges I think will come. So I think they're just timing it, because you don't want to do it when the market is dead. But prop base is definitely going to be one that I'm personally going to keep accumulating. It's one of those right now in the markets where I think all the JITs are more or less out the markets now. The people that capitulated have capitulated already. And retail sentiment is obviously at all-time low. I think it's like 50-60% of retail right now is bearish, which is a good indicator, because when retail is bearish, that is a good sign that the market is likely going to go higher and make those guys actually fall more back in, and then the whales will take profits and then push it back down again. And this is how they kill sentiment over and over again. And this is why, me personally, I've just been trading. I put a trade alert on though yesterday at 100K region. I said, because we already knew that Bitcoin was going to go to 100K. I put a trade. You could have put leverage on there, 5x, 10x. You would have been up 1-2 grand. You could have put spot. I personally bought 15 grand spot, and I made like 2-3 grand on the recent pump. So it's not bad. It's like you take that risk, and then on the bounce, you just made 2-3 grand. And you keep doing that over and over again. Eventually, your portfolio is going to slowly start to increase. Omar, walaikum salam, my friend. How you doing? Thoughts on Swarms? I do like Swarms. I don't think it's a bad project, but compared to most other agents, you have to keep in mind Swarm did not move as much as people thought it was going to move. And also keep in mind as well that it's been at the same range since pretty much March. And if it keeps tapping this region, eventually what tends to happen is you run out of buyers, and the sellers override the buyers, and the price continues to go lower. And that's something to take in consideration. I haven't really been tracking the progress of this project, but it is an AI agent. It did have a very decent pump. I think someone in my private group called this back in the AI agent hype before he got into the fucking CoinGecko. Made some decent money on this one. But I don't know, man. This just hasn't gone anywhere since the start of the year. Now, like I said, eventually, what you're gonna get is if you're gonna run out of buyers at the 2 cent region, and it's gonna probably put in a new all-time low. And with the bonds so high, I personally would not be taking the risk of getting into this one. But I do think it's a good project. It will definitely pump at some point. You guys can see it pumped about 2x on the previous pump, so it is capable of pumping, but it's obviously high risk. Because the thing is, like, the first wave of AI agent pumps are not going to be the same on the second wave. Like, look at Cookie, right? Cookie, fundamentally, very, very strong project. But you also got to keep in mind, something like Cookie will always have pumps. But look at the dilution, though. Let me show you guys the difference between the chart. Cookie right now, it's about 3x from all-time high. But look at the market cap. It's like 30 million, 50, 60 million away from the all-time high. So that's because dilution keeps happening over again. And, this still has another 2x dilution pretty much. And it's going to keep getting diluted. And you think that this could go to all-time highs price-wise, but it won't market cap-wise. For this to do another 3x, it will have to go to damn near 500 million, 500 million. It's possible. Of course, it's possible. But like I said, the second wave of the AI agent hype is never going to be the same as the first one. So that's the same thing across the board. Only buy the ones that are developing. And I think Cookie is still a very good one. A safe 5x. I think this is a safe 5 to 10x because, is like the oracle of the AI agent. All the analytical stuff on agents is on Cookie. So that's why it would most likely do well. Greek, good to see you, bro. Lotus, good to see you as well, my friend. Mr. Crypto, good to see you. What about the new supply of Oort? What do you mean the new supply of Oort? There is no new supply of Oort. The supply is exactly the same. Oort's pumping back up. The supply is capped at 2 billion. And what they're doing is they've basically burnt half of the supply. So it says over here they burned 1 million, but they burned like $12 million or 12 million Oort. And then I think the most of the people that saw, because this had a big sell-off over here the last 7 days, it did have a very big sell-off. And I think what it was people getting frustrated that this did not pump like it did, because you got from the technical analysis point, it's been in the same range for the last 3 months now. It came down trying to break the barrier, but it just came back up now. It's back up to 4.3 now. So it was in the same range, and then almost gave a fake out and just rallied back up. And I think what it was basically people that how this just got frustrated and probably moved the money elsewhere. So all the Jeets are out, in my opinion. And I have made it very clear to the team now that they have to start marketing now. There's no other, because no one knows about this project even till now. It's been around for like a year, and obviously it gets frustrating because at the end of the day, the people that hold this, the reason you hold these projects is to make money. And if they're not going to do no fucking marketing, then there's no point holding it, is there? So they've basically said, and I spoke to them privately. I said, you guys have to start marketing because if you guys are diluting with the DataHub stuff, you need to create some demand for the token. Whether it's getting new exchanges, getting some more fucking trading bots that will absorb the drawdowns, increase the volume, so that way people are more incentivized to actually buy the project. Because when the volume looks good, and they've applied for this fucking shit to get updated, but it's like CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap are just taking forever to actually do it. It's like, this should be down to about 48 to 50 million, the FTV, because they've burned almost 50% of the supply. So the max supply is always going to be 2 billion, is never going to increase. The total supply is what's circulating. Well, the total supply is exactly the same as well. It's 2 billion. And the circulating is this much. But you got to keep in mind, right? The best way to do is just check this. Check this. Check the Explorer, and it tells you everything. 104 staked, 420, 404, well, 400 and something circulating, almost 12 billion burnt, million. All you have to do is go to the blockchain, go to the top accounts, and check where everything is. The Genesis account, this is the unlocks for validators, early investors. That's the 40% of the token that's supposed to be burnt. That's the mining pool, which is like 17% of the supply. This is the current mining stuff this is the staking, the age staking. And then you come down here, where is it? Look, the total investors, the early investors now only hold 0.17% of the supply. So you're not going to see massive sell-offs in this further down the line because they don't hold enough percent of the supply to really cause a sell-off. They have like a few 100K, which will get invested over I don't know how many years. And then the team tokens, a lot of people just waffling saying, oh, the team's selling. The team tokens is over here as well. And they hold, I hold more tokens than the team, which is out, look, they hold 800 and something grand, 800 something K on Oort. I have more Oort than that. So the team's not selling because that's the team's tokens right there. So what it is the people that was accumulating just got frustrated and just sold off, which is, I knew it was going to happen at some point. because people obviously in this type of environment, because the meme coins are doing so well short term, people just want everything quick, fast, and they don't understand that when dominance is at fucking all-time high, you're not going to see altcoins, that most KOLs don't talk about it. They're not just gonna pump. They pump with a narrative, and this is something that was clearly evident in December when AI agent pumped. Alt was in the AI agent category, and he pumped 5x in like a week. So it all depends on the narrative. And when DePIN wakes up again, it will pump again with DePIN, storage, layer ones, made in the US, whatever narrative happens, AI, it will pump again. It's just, it's just a slow mover. If you're one of those impatient people that cannot sit on your back, the whole point is if one of your assets don't pump, but 10 other does, why does it matter that much to you? Just a few weeks ago, Sensei was up 3x. Fucking Bricken was up like 4x. Cola was up 9x. SPX, I put a trade on that as well. That did a 3x very quickly and is holding really well. So if all your other assets are pumping and one isn't, or it was still pumping, but it wasn't pumping as much, people get frustrated and then move on. And that's exactly what happened with Oort. So, it's all, if you don't have patience, then just don't buy Oort. It's that simple, bro. Just sell your bags, go move into a fast moving asset. But the whole point is you need some sort of, a project that can just explode. And that's what Oort will probably do. Because with a new update, I think this is a very good update. Oort's DataHub is now the world's largest decentralized data hub with 80K daily contributors. So the community has proposed a bold move, which is to tokenize all AI data sets on on-chain RWA assets. So they're going to be expanding to the RWA narrative now. They're going to start tokenizing the data hub. So for those of you guys that don't understand how tokenization works, if something is generating revenue, what you can do is then, let's say let's say you got a garage or like a parking place, right? The parking place generates 100 grand a year. You can then raise, 1, 2, 300 years, 100K, sorry, 200K, 300K, whatever you want, through tokenizing it, and then share the revenue with the people. And that's what Oort's doing now. I don't know how much money they earn with the data hub, but they're going to be giving the data sales or the profits to the holders. And 20-30% of the RWA token airdropped to early contributors, Oort miners, and the tier 4 users. So if you're on the data hub, right, and you become a tier 4 member by staking your token, which is where the token utility comes in, then you will earn part of their revenue, which I don't know how much is going to be. We don't know yet. So I made a proposal and I said, and then this is something that, because this guy, this is the CEO, he always checks the comments. And this is what I posted. I said, create a secondary marketplace so RWA token holders can trade them using Oort. So that obviously creates more demand for Oort itself. Increase the staking requirements for tier 4 to 20 to 30K. Because right now it's like fucking 5K, which is fuck all. So if you increase it to 20, 30K, the staking goes up and more tokens get off circulation. So, if 80,000 people stake it, right, 20, 30K, you got to think like that, right? And the token is 20, 30K. You do the math, that's millions and millions of Oort being taken off the circulation. And that becomes, it becomes a little bit more volatile to the upside as well. And then instead of doing, some buybacks and burns, because yes, buybacks and burns are good, but the reality is it's fucking useless because they'll already burn like 50% of the supply. Another burn is not going to do something. So what I said was, instead of doing the buybacks and burns for 1 a quarter, use the buyback money to create some demand for the Oort token, whether it's paying influencers to make YouTube videos or Twitter shillers, because the higher the data hub goes, where the Oort token goes, the more people are incentivized to use the data hub. If Oort is at 50 cents or $1, people in the West will be more incentivized to use the data hub. Because right now, I guarantee you most people in the West do not use the data hub. Because who the fuck is going to go take pictures of I don't know, whatever the fuck they put on the data hub when all your earnings like 5 cents, 10 cents, 4 cents, whatever the Oort token is at that point. If it was 50 cents, $1, people will be more incentivized to actually use the DataHub as well. And that's something I made very clear to the team. So let's see what they do moving forward. They are very aware that they need to start marketing now, which is obviously very good, because it gets very frustrating when a majority of the market's pumping and then your coin is stuck and it's not doing nothing. If it's stuck and not doing nothing, ideally it should not dump as well. But recently it dumped, and that's what caused a massive panic in Oort. Martin's, good to see you, bro. Lexa, good to see you as well. Very good to see you as well, my friend. What's some trades you bought on this dip? I bought some Ondo. I personally did spot because I put in a heavier bag. I put in 15k. I put 20k. I bought my first bag at 81.5, which is for 5k, and then I put my other bags at around 77, 76, around those regions. 70, I think it was between 78 to 76. I put my orders there. So altogether, I have around 20k worth of Ondo. That as soon as it breaks this little trend that it's in, I'll probably start to book profits on the way up. Another one that I grabbed was Lofi at around 33 and 32 cents, which it went back up to about 45, 46. I still hold it. I have not sold it because it was only up like 20, 30%. So if the market continues to pump in the short term, this Lofi is one of those that can move very fast. If it goes back up here, I've already made like more than a 2x. And another one that I bought was TARS AI. This one has not done that well compared to how I was expecting it to move, because I got in at like 10.3, 10.2-ish. I put 7 different orders, and I put one at like 9.5, but it didn't hit, obviously. But this one bounced, but it hasn't really done anything crazy. So these are the 3 coins I bought. And I bought some Game on Virtuals as well, but that one hasn't done shit either. Does the volume on OTK... I mean, look, it's not OTK's fault that gaming narrative is dead. That's what you have to realize. It's not OTK's fault. It's specifically the gaming narrative. And this is one of those that tends to move very well anyways, as soon as the market somewhat flips bullish. So it's always going to be pumping. Whether it's 40, 50%, just keep trading the shit out of this. That's what I do. Trade it, buy some, trade it, buy some, trade it. Do I have any thoughts on Buzz? I think Buzz is a good trade, but I don't know, man. This one's a weird one. It's a good project because this is the project that won the Solana hackathon. So when Solana had that big hackathon back in November, December for AI agents, this is the one that won. So obviously it's a good project fundamentally, because otherwise they would have not won. But as a project, as everything else, I'm not really a massive fan of this project, honestly. I'm not a massive fan. I think it will pump. It has good volume, 10 million volume, has good exchanges, big get. I think it's on KuCoin as well, I'm pretty sure. It's on KuCoin. It's on some decent exchange. It's not on KuCoin. Oh, it's on fucking KuCoin. There's just no volume on there. Okay. But yeah, these guys clearly have the trading bots running, which is always good. It's a good trade. It's a good trade, Ben. Like if you want a quick 2x when the market flips bullish, I mean, look, the last 3 months, look how volatile it is. Buy it down here somewhere, sell it up here. Buy it down here, sell it up there. Buy it down here, sell it up there. You see this is how you trade. So this is a good trading asset. This, I don't know what the fuck happened here, but it's good to see you, my friend. Great time to DCA NAI prop-based ATR. NAI is a perfect time to DCA as well, because it's come down back to where it was just consolidated at. Had a very, very good pump from down here all the way up there, was about just over 2x if you got in at the lows, and at the highs I think went to like 4.5. So just over 2x on NAI. It is one of those projects that tends to move fast because it's obviously it's liquid. So don't recommend buying heavy bags in NAI, and because when it's time to sell, there might not be enough liquidity. But they are, keep in mind, guys, right? I think it was last year, they made a proposal to actually burn or keep 445 million coins because of the vesting schedule that they fixed. Out of those, that got put in the DAO, which means at some point they're gonna obviously pay more KOLs, and they're gonna get more exchange listings with that money for the DAO. So they are gonna they therefore have money to market, which is always good. And there's no unlocks till like November, so that's also very good. Bricken is heating up. Bricken from the lows, this is one of my favorite RWA coins. Been holding this shit since it pretty much first came out. But this is heating up. And then if you guys listen to my live streams, I gave you this alpha weeks ago because what's coming next week, we have some news to share. Tokenization is booming. I told you guys about this news because I got this spill on it weeks ago. I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, in fact. So definitely, I think once the news comes out, I can see this getting to about these regions to the 40 cents, maybe 45 cents after the news, if the market is in good condition. If the market is not in good condition, then obviously the news will come out because the whale's been accumulating. They might just sell off into the news. But like I said, as soon as the news comes out, you guys are going to be surprised. It's going to do very well. At this point, you can't tell me AI tech is not a blue chip. They don't skip a beat, bruv. Cracking data, yeah, but AI tech is we know what happens next, Binance. 100% agree, T13. 100%. AI tech, this is something that I was buying at like fucking 1 cent. It's this is fundamentally, I think, one of the best DePIN projects in the space, if not, actually I wouldn't say it's the best, but is most definitely one of the best DePIN projects in the space. And that is because they are one of the best marketers, but they also have a lot of funding behind them, and they're fundamentally strong as well. So I don't know where the fuck these guys are getting all this money from. Maybe from selling the token, but they have so much money behind them that they're giving out. They're doing $1 million buybacks. They've just paid millions of dollars for the fucking DataHub. I think they've obviously used the token to, because this has decent volume. They probably just sell chunks every single day, and they've clearly stopped selling now because the price is only appreciating. Well, a couple months ago, like August, it was only April, it was only going down. But these are basically the first. Fuck is it gone? Am I tripping? But these guys are the first. This is the Kraken listing. So 10 million users, 40 billion volume. That is definitely Kraken. I asked someone in my finger used Ask Grog, and Grog basically put that forward. But these guys are pretty much the first Web3 project in crypto to have a real life data center, and is live. It's gone live. So the backbone of our AI infrastructure is coming online. NVIDIA powered, HPC ready, positioned to rival in Web 2 and Web 3. People don't realize how important this is, because throughout 2024, throughout early 2025, everyone just faded this because the price didn't go anywhere. And then now, I think, now that the data center is live, what you're going to get is you're going to get crazy burns, because the whole point of the token was to fund the data center, I think, in my opinion, obviously. But now that the data center is live and they've managed to fund this, they're going to be generating stupid amounts of money on the data hub. They no longer need the token that much. So what they're going to do is, and this is where the dual deflationary system comes in, they're going to be burning the shit out of the token, which means AI tech is only going to get more and more scarce, because the transactions on chain is going to, multiply by stupid amounts. So there's going to be stupid amounts of burns. The circulating supply, so they've obviously burnt a few million, nothing crazy. But the burn system, I think, is going to increase massively. You're going to see millions and millions being burned regularly. They're going to market it well as well. Retail is going to catch on, and I think is going to do very well, in my opinion. So the Kraken listings coming within the next week, and after that is definitely Binance, because the amount of work they're doing with Binance, and I don't want to talk about too much, but there's inside a group for AI tech, depending on how many tokens you hold, and I'm obviously in there. It's pretty much guaranteed that they're going to get a Binance listing. It's just a matter of when. Scrub, good to see you, bro. No, I would not be buying ALU. It will definitely pump in the gaming narrative, but this is an Alex Becker coin, which means that Alex Becker is going to pump the shit out of this at some point. But I don't think right now is a good time to get into this. Let this bottom out. You look at the chart, it just it's in a consistent downtrend. When something's in a consistent downtrend like this, you don't want to enter because you just don't know where the token is going to end in. You have to wait. Like this is how you know a token has bottomed. Something like Snift, right? Look at Snift. It's been in the same range, slowly climbing higher, for the last 3 months now, since fucking April. Since March, actually. So the end of March to now, it's been in the same range. No one's clearly selling. Slowly buyers are coming in as they develop more. And then once AI agents become a hot narrative again, which they will, or gaming or AI gaming, this is going to absolutely fly because the vesting is already below all early investors' price. So there's no one really to dump on you. At the same time, the vesting is solid as well. It's like less than 1x dilution. So it's not going to be a lot of selling pressure coming into this. And the market cap to volume is pretty decent, like almost 50%. So this is the type of shit you want, before you enter a project. Like this, this is bottomed out because it's been sitting at the same fucking region for like 2 months now. Thoughts on bubble maps? What is this? Bubble maps. BMT, Sun Solana. This looks like a game, isn't it? Is this a game? This looks familiar. Take up the habit, just bubble it. What? Fuck you mean bubble it? This is one of those I have to use to understand what it is. Bubble Map's the first supply auditing tool for DeFi NFTs. Nah, this is dead, bro. Don't buy this. Anything to do with NFTs, just don't buy it, bro. It's not worth. NFTs or DeFi, don't buy. Rich, good to see you, buddy. What are your highest conviction plays for the leg in AI? I'll definitely get Sensei. If you have patience, get some Oort. If you don't, get AI tech. I am gonna start looking for some new AI coins. There's quite a few. There's a few that I'm waiting to come out, and they're launching very soon. So those are the ones I kind of want to get in. But you look at the existing AI category, only very few projects stand out. Like the ones I do, I trade a lot on Sol. So these are the ones that people are trading on a private group, Cola, Dark, and all these other ones. I tend to trade a lot of the ones on Solana, and then whatever money I make, what I do is I move it to my long-term bags, because the more stacked your long-term bags are, the less X's you need. You don't need to chase the 20, 30 X's. If your bags are doubled in the last couple of months because you're trading, making money, moving your money into your long-term bags, now you only need a 10X. So that's what the best thing to do right now is have your long-term bags in case the market randomly explodes, because all it takes is a physical cycle, meaning any news can change the direction of the market. That's what physical cycles are, and then because it's no longer a business cycle anymore, clearly not, because the fucking inflation's going down, the market doesn't give a shit. Unemployment's staying the same, the market don't give a shit. So it's no longer a business cycle, it's become a fucking physical cycle where Trump, tariffs, and all this bullshit affect the markets. So the best thing to do is, stack your long-term bags and then trade on the side, have money on the side to trade. And this is the concept I've been telling people for the last year and a half. Keep between 10, 15% of your portfolio in cash so you can trade. And then once you make profits, get your money out of those trades and then use your profits to add to your long-term bags and then start trading again when the market takes directions. That's what I do in the private group. I trade. Once I make my profits, I've made stupid amounts of money in the last just trading. And then once I've traded, I'll move my profits into some high conviction plays, my Ondos, my Injectives, my C's, my AI coins, my RWA coins. And then the more stacked my bags become, I don't need to chase the 20, 30 X's no more. That's what I try to show in my private group. And that's why I think most people now have understood that concept. They're on trading mode as well. Whether it's leverage trading, we do leverage trade, I do leverage trading there. Whether it's Solana coins, these are the ones, like this was all in April. People don't realize this. All of this was just in 1 month. All in April, or in between April to like last month, pretty much. That's like fucking 20, 40, 10 over here. That's like almost 100x in 1 month on the Solana section, on my Solana, guys. And then I put some trades up on Cola, Grift, SPX. Like, just because I don't come here and brag about the fucking little trades I do, people don't realize that just because I'm holding my long-term bags, I'm not trading on the side. I do plenty of trades. The trades is the best thing to do in this current market, because the market is like, this is what market makers are doing now. They shift the price up. Everyone gets fucking excited. And then some bullshit happens on social media where Trump and fucking Elon is arguing, and somehow it's the end of the world, and then everything sells off. But in those sell-offs, if you know what you're doing, gives you the best buying opportunity. 5-wave drop. I put this out 2-3 days ago, and I played out the same. So all the people that it's 100k region start putting longs on to make money. And then once you take profits, move it to your long-term bags. That way, you're not stuck holding your coins. You're making money on the side at least. And then when the market does explode, we already know all our altcoins pump from November, December. Every single one of them pumped. So they pump, the market likes them, and they will definitely pump again. It's just patience, that's all it is. But trade as well on the side. Don't play leverage though. If you don't know what you're doing, do not play leverage. Like, leverage is fucking horrible. Like, you would rather go gamble on fucking pump and meme coins than play the leverage game. It's not for leverage. Is very hard, bro. Very, very hard. Izzy, good to see you, but what are some good buys at the moment? Some good buys. Let me check some ATR chart. ATR is not a bad buy right now. It did bounce back up on the recent thing, but this is one of those fast moving assets. It will always move fast because everything on the platform requires a token. So the money is, circulating around. So it's definitely one of the most action-packed token utility coins, in my opinion. Has had a little bounce. I would say the best DCA right now, let me check. Probably Sensei is not bad. Sensei is still up like 50-60% from the lows. I'll probably say the best DCA is Nai. Definitely Nai. Some prop base here as well. Prop base is definitely good. The reason prop base is good, because they have a top 5 exchange listing coming. They also have the ETH integration coming as well, which is positive. Another good one you could trade short term is Rio, because they have the free hold wallet coming, which obviously going to, is definitely going to increase the utility of Rio itself. So I can imagine everything on the freehold wallet requires the Rio token, which means everyone who wants to tokenize on the platform will have to use Rio. And then they also had the district shit, which burnt, like $1 million worth of Rio and locked up an extra $4-5 million. I think it was 8 million Rio locked up, and then like 2 million or something burnt. And that's the whole point of these tokens. Everything rolls back to Rio. And like, the more scarce Rio becomes, it becomes way more explosive on the way up. But it also comes on the way down. So, what's the best AI agent that can do a possible 50x? The ones that can do a 50x are the ones on fucking Solana, low cap. Those are the ones that's going to do your 50x. In terms of all the existing, high cap agents, none of them are going to do a 50x. None of them. They've already done the 50x's. So don't look for a 50x for them. Look for a 10x on them. Like, something like Swarms will never ever do a 50x. Something like Cookie will never ever do a 50x. So the best thing to do is simply wait for the narrative to take off and then start trading the AI agents then. That's what I done. You don't know what's going to do a 50x because there's going to be 10,000 more launching every other day. But the existing ones, this is not going to do a 50x. Cookie is never going to do a 50x. The ones that everyone talks about are Swarms, Cookie, Sny. These are the ones that everyone pretty much talks about and shows. But I don't really think none of these are going to do a 50x. Number one, because like something like Sny, there's like 10 other Snys in the market. So what makes it special is like, oh, we are a no-code AI agent launchpad. It's like, who gives a shit? Most people don't go to this to launch the AI agents. They don't. They go to Virtuals because Virtuals has a platform. Everyone knows about Virtuals. And when you launch on Virtuals, you have a chance on pumping. Who the fuck is going to go launch an AI agent on Snipe? No one. So this is why you have to be very careful not to fall for these type of projects, the launchpad ones for AI agents, because there's so many in the market, but only one or two actually gets used. Most of them don't get used. It's like, oh, this is one. I think a lot of people are always chilling, and serviceless AI agents deployed instantly. What's the point? What is the point? There's no point. There's no real utility. It's just a launchpad for AI agents. But it's always serviceless. Like, who gives a shit, bro? If no one's using your platform, it could be whatever, bro. If no one's using it, there's no point. It's useless. So don't get. And then another one was Dasha. I think Gaines was shilling the shit out of this. Look where he's at now. Told people don't buy this shit because on a specific reason that it's just another AI agent launchpad. These are only good during the fucking hype. And my Solana guy called this down here. He got like a fucking 100 and something X on this, 150X. But do you marry your bags? Of course not. Because after this, it just went to shits. Because no one's using a platform anymore. No one's launching the AI agents on Dasha. Every single AI agent comes now on Virtuals because of the Genesis thing. That's it. So unless something on Solana, AI agent does something similar to Genesis, I don't think a lot of these launchpads, AI agent launchpads, are going to get utilized, in my opinion. And it's clear, evident, because you look at this, you look at Sny, they haven't really been doing the best, have they? I mean, this looks like exactly like the fucking Oort chart. At least Oort recovered back up here, but this looks exactly like the Oort chart. Hasn't gone anywhere for the last 3 months. And then put in a new low, and then has had a little bounce. Looks exactly like the Oort chart. It's not anything to do with anything. It's just that the platform don't get used, clearly. So you have to be careful with the AI. All the AI agents that's going to do a 50x, my friend, will come during the narrative. Will come at a later stage. They're going to find them a 1 or 2 million market cap. Not the ones that are 10, 20, 30. They're unlikely. Unless it's actually doing something. Most of these AI agents are fucking useless. No one uses them. It's just hype. That's it. But the hype's already been done. So you have to be careful. Just because something's pumped previously, they don't mean it's going to pump again. Unless they're building something new or doing something that people like, which in this case, AI agent launchpad is definitely not one of them. There's a lot of people talking about AI gaming. I remember G talking about it in stream last month. Sniff, Bounty. Yeah, look, Bounty is another one that we trade in the private group. This done like a 3-4x very fast. And we traded the shit out of the ecosystem. We're getting 10x's, 5x's, 12x's, 4, 5x's every other day, every other launch, because no one knew about it. But the problem is, once everyone finds out about it, it just becomes boring, because what happens is the allocations get smaller and smaller, and it just, because the same thing happened with the virtual Genesis. When this is the problem, right? When you're first to find it, you will always make the gains. But once everyone catches on, just like the Genesis thing, you need like $20,000 for the Genesis to make any sort of money. But then if you sell your tokens, and this is when you go on Twitter, right? And you see these motherfuckers flaunting that they made a 50x, 100x on the Genesis stuff. The reality is they made shit because they can't sell it. If they sell it, they have to start all over again. So they have to start a new wallet, start making more points, start buying more virtuals, start, gathering their points to get to a new launch. And even then, all you're going to get is $10, $20 allocations. But if you were with people that done in the first month, you could have got a couple $1,000, put into virtuals, locked it up, staked it, whatever, and your allocations would have been 500, $1,000, and you could have got 5, 10x. You could have made good money that way. But once everyone catches on it, it becomes boring, it becomes oversaturated, and you don't make no money. So when we found Bounty, we found it fucking time ago. A Solana guy found it a very long time ago. He made like a 40, 50x on it, come back down, and then they started doing the launchpad similar to Genesis, where you have to hold the Bounty token to get an airdrop, and then this pumped like 3x. But on the ecosystem, stuff were doing 10x's, 5x's, and then everyone started catching on, and then after that, it just became boring. But yeah, Play Mind is okay, but I have not invested into this one. There was one that I was looking at today. I did post it, Greek. Check in the Solana section. I did post it. It looked pretty decent, AI gaming, and it's backed by some big Asian company on the stock market worth 5 billion. But Snift is a good one because it's backed by Binance Labs and OKX Ventures. So the thing is like those people that invest in those tokens, they will get their money worth at some point, which means they're going to pump it at some point. The VCs pump these tokens like they did with Mavia, and they took all the money out. Now no one talks about Mavia anymore. And it just done like an 8x in like 1, 2, 3 days. That's what the VCs do. They pump it up, make retail FOMO in, cash out their bags, and then they move on to the next project. So at some point, they're going to do the exact same thing with Snift. Or Binance will definitely move Snift at some point. That's why I'm not too concerned. HyperFi, I don't want to get into right now. But there's another AI gaming play I'm looking at. I'm just waiting for it to come down. I think it'll do that one. Will do very well. Alt performs worse than my meme coins. I do agree with you in terms of that. Well, not really. What do you mean your meme coins? Meme coins have been doing well. I don't know what meme coins you're holding, but meme coins are doing very well at the moment. Alt's been in pretty much in the same price range for like the last 3 months. I mean, look, it came down and then got bought back up, and it's now in the same range. It's not really performing worse than your meme coin. It just hasn't gone anywhere for the last 3 months. This looks like exactly like that Snybag chart. Chill, pumps a little bit, comes down, pumps a little bit, comes down. It's probably going to pump a little bit. But this time the team's going to market well anyway. So AI Tech getting listed on Kraken. I do think is Kraken, yes, because you have to look at the numbers. You go on here, you look at 10 million users, and you ask Grog, which exchange has 10 million users, 40 million volume, and reaches across 150 calories? I mean, not calories, sorry, countries. It tells you is Kraken. That's what it tells you. So it's going to be Kraken first and then Binance next. Because on their post, they said listings, not listing. They said listings. So that means there's going to be more than one listing. Michael, good to see you, brother. How you doing today? Perhaps Oort will also pump with DEAI narrative. Oh yeah, it'll definitely pump with the decentralized AI narrative for sure. It's the latest tokenized. I think it's the only data set tokenized on any Web3 project, because most don't even have a Web3 stuff. I mean, a data set. I think it's crazy, to be honest, because their data stuff is number one page on Kaggle, which is basically the data provider for Google, the biggest data provider for Google, which means that they're probably generating some good money from Kaggle. If you can make it on the first page of Kaggle, you're earning some good money. And then on top of that, they're also listed on the Shanghai AI Data Exchange, which is the biggest data exchange in China. So they're definitely making some good money off that as well. And then what they're doing is now they're tokenizing that data hub. And then us as the community can stake our Oort and then share some of that revenue. So every single month, you might get $100, $200, $300, whatever it is. I think that's pretty solid. That gives good token utility. Gives good buzzwords as well. Yeah, Oort has gone into RWA indeed, yes. So G's picks are so well rounded, 9 on AVAX, 80. I have pretty much on every chain. Every chain. Yeah, so yes, exactly. So Sui, Sensei is going to be moving on Sui. AI Tech is everywhere. Bricken is on Base, on Ethereum, on what's the other platform? On BNB. Oort's going to be on Ton and Solana as well. Nai is on AVAX and the Cosmos chain as well. So there was on AVAX, but they're also going to be on the Cosmos, or they already are on the Cosmos chain. So they're on those two chains. ATR's on Solana, prop based on Aptos and Base. Bricken's also on Base. Sensei is on base as well, by the way. So we have coins on every single chain. So when the chains start doing well, our coins will pump with the chain. That's how you diversify your portfolio. Base, I do need a solid base play as well, like a meme coin or some shit. Ever since I made decent amount of money at SPX, I've been interested in meme coins. All-time high. Whenever the next big pump comes, that is going to be the final pump, in my opinion. Now, market changes every day. So I can say one thing last week, 2 weeks ago, and then my opinion could change today. So at the moment, my base case is whenever the next big pump is, that is going to be the final pump. Because what people don't understand is there's a recession looming on top of our heads, and it will happen a lot faster than people think. And it will happen. Once it happens, everyone's going to shit their beds. We're going to drop stupid amounts. And then the people that buy in that recession are going to make life-changing money. And I always said, because after a recession comes printing, rates will be almost zero. Market is going to go up stupid amounts. All coins are going to outperform. And this is, how many people do you hear today? And this is the retail people, right? How many of them do you hear say, oh, next cycle, I'm going to go into BTC only? How stupid are you? This is what people fall for every time. Last cycle, altcoins did way better than BTC. So then everyone this cycle went into altcoins. And this exact same thing is going to happen again next cycle. Everyone's going to go into BTC. Yes, BTC will make you some money, but the altcoins are going to make you 100x more money because we're going to be in a printing cycle. We're not going to be in a business cycle where rates are not going down and, it's just a normal business cycle. We're not going to be in that next cycle. We're going to be in a printing cycle, something like a 2020 cycle. So you have to accumulate altcoins next cycle. This cycle was mainly a BTC. We're still going to have a decent alt season, a mini alt season, whatever, like an average alt season. But the next alt season is going to be the massive one, in my opinion. So don't fall for that. But in terms of bull run, it will definitely happen this year, because before you go into a recession, you have to go into euphoria for the big whales to cash out. And they do this every single time. Look at every single recession. The market always pumped and then the recession hit. It's never been the market's going down and then the recession hit. It doesn't work like that, because where the fuck are the big players going to get out? Someone has to buy their bags off them, the big players. And there's going to be the retards that's going to buy their bags off them as they get out before a recession. So clearly it does not make sense, for the markets to be going down into a recession, because that means because the only people that's selling now is retail. It's not fucking smart investors. They're accumulating. If you go on Glassnode, I'll show you guys the chart. Glassnode. This is a very good chart for you guys to understand, right? Where is it? This is a good chart, right? This was on June the 5th, 2 days ago. After briefly leaning towards distribution, the largest BTC holders are now back in accumulation. All wallets cohorts shows varied degrees of buying, with the strongest activity in 10 to 100 BTC, and 1 BTC groups both reaching a score of 1, the highest possible. And if you look at this, does it not look like early stages of this? Like here. And look where the price was down here. Look. Slowly climbing on, you get an explosive move up. So this is what I mean. It's going to be the final blow off top, and the smart investors are now accumulating while fucking retail is selling. And then what's going to happen is this is going to explode up. Retail is going to come in, and this is going to get thinner and thinner. And then they're going to go into sell. Look how much selling they were doing over here when you put in that double top. And you know this because the first wave has high volume. The second wave might go slightly higher, but you look at the volume, it's not as high, which means that those fuckers are selling while retail is buying at that point. And look how much red is happening here. And now we're going back into distribution phase or accumulation phase. So you're going to see some dark blues. We're going to explode up. And then all retail is going to come in, new investors are going to come in, blah, 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 blah. Bitcoin's 150K, whatever the high is at that point. And then the smart investors are going to sell. But then there's always going to be those one retards calling for 200k, 250k, or we're never going to go down again. Those type of retards. I have to be careful with that one. Tell me, please, what do you think Arweave could do? I think Arweave would do well because they have a business model, which means that people are obviously utilizing Arweave. And Arweave was one of those. I got in fairly early and I made like a 10x on this down here. I think I still have some Arweave on my Binance. Done really well. And, storage will be a narrative because everyone in crypto uses storage. This is what people don't realize. Filecoin, despite the price action, has a business model, and fucking institutions are using Filecoin. And that's why, despite the price action, like I said, Filecoin is still around and doing fine because they have a real business model. But storage is not as big as it was last cycle. Last cycle was very massive. But the reason Filecoin didn't do well was mainly because of the SEC case against them. That's obviously been dropped now. Arweave didn't have that case and it done very well. And that's the difference. But storage, I think, will always be a narrative, but it's not going to be a massive narrative like AI, RWA, or meme coins or whatever. But it's going to be a decent narrative that's going to pump for a few weeks. And that's when Oort is going to pump with storage as well, because that is also a storage project. So I genuinely think Arweave will come back because there's a lot of institutional money behind Arweave, and they're going to pump up their bags. People trolled AI tech too much. Many sold during the FUD times. Why can't people have conviction? Research a little on yours. I do agree with you, bro. I always tell people that watch my channel, never buy a token because I tell you to buy. Build your own convictions, and then once you have that conviction, you ride it out on the bad days, and you enjoy on the green days. Look at AI tech. AI tech pumped 4x after going through a rough phase, and now everyone loves AI tech again. This is what happens with every project. Everyone hates Oort now because it's not performing that well, or it's just been stuck in the same range, for the last 3 months. And then when it starts performing, all the fucking fudders and all the pricks that were just talking shit, they all disappear. They all disappear. Nowhere to be seen. How many people were fucking fudding AI tech a few months ago? They're nowhere to be seen now. Everyone loves AI tech now. But there was a bunch of people that was fudding this saying, oh, it hasn't gone anywhere for a year. Yeah, but then what about now? It's doing well now. It's up decent amount, up 4x to the highs. This is the story of crypto, bro. When the markets are down, dominance is at all-time high. People will come up with the most retarded scenarios and they come up with the most random bullshit, random FUD because or they're not performing. Well, obviously, what altcoin is going to perform when dominance is this high? None of them are going to perform. Ethereum has been stuck in the same fucking range for how long? When once Ethereum breaks the 200-day moving average, then the altcoins will have a little rally because dominance will come down. Or every single altcoin pumped here, every single one of them. Some of them pumped way more than others, but they're still pumped. It all depends on dominance. You cannot get mad that your altcoins are going down when this is going up. This is how it works. Some people will never understand crypto, bro. Do I think Autos is a decent in the sense where it'll get pumped by Alex Becker, but I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of it personally because it's a good niche because car anomaly, whatever the fuck is called, that done fairly well. The car tokenizing thing. Let me see if I can find it. Was a car anomaly. There's this one right here. Car. This done well initially, right? Pumped, had a decent pump. Everyone's bullish on it, and now it's non-existent. But this will pump during the RWA narrative. So don't count this out. Keep it on your watch list because once the RWA narrative comes hot again, I guarantee this will give you a 5 to 10x very quickly. And that's going to be the same thing with Autos. And I think Autos will probably give you more than that project, even though they're in the same narrative, same niche, because Alex Becker will pump it. So he has a decent amount of buying power. Wait for this to bottom out and maybe grab a small bag, and then you probably will pump at some point once RWA heats up. It's not about individual coins. It's just about the narrative. Once the narrative pumps, everything pumps. This is what people don't realize. Oort is not even known as an AI agent, but you pumped with AI agents, done 5x. Not because it's individually the best, but it is a good project. They don't even talk about the AI agents, but just because it was on CoinGecko, it pumped. That's how it works. This is why you don't have to worry about, as long as you get into the best narratives, your coins will pump at some point. That's all it comes down to. It's just a matter of patience. I'm at the stage where I'm really not sure if we're getting on. I mean, look, that's good that you're feeling like that, because the more you guys feel like that, the more likely we'll probably will get an alt season. That's what I think. How do I feel about Julius? I actually bought this at 6 million, sold at 12. I think I did sell a bit too early, but this was one of my trades. Josh. I think there's some good people behind this, and the chart is obviously heavily manipulated by whales. You can just clearly tell by the chart. I think is a good project, like a good degen project, and if it gives me a good entry, I might just get into it again. But I got a 2x and I just sold it, to be honest. Trust, good to see you, bro. GLS did a 25x in 8 days. Alone was dead now. Probably what the fuck? GLS is a rock pool, bro. What the fuck? It's still pumping. Bro, look at the chart, bro. Yo, whoa, it's pumping. The reality is no one's ever gonna buy this, bro, because most people bought up here when it was at 0.03. So for this to get to up here, or even up here, I think most people, the people that bought this, bought it like somewhere around these regions. For this to get here, it needs to do another fucking 10x. It's crazy though. This will probably just rug again. Don't FOMO into this, Troy. I mean, this is a dead coin that just got revived. And, oftentimes what you get is you get dead rugged coins. If you look at the market cap over here, it's at fucking 4-5 million. So it's pretty much rugged. And then what they do is they start to post some bullshit. Everyone gets happy again. And then they just rug it again. It's like one last fucking leg for this to do well. That's all it comes down to. That's what happens. So personally, I would never ever get into this again, because this pretty much rug pulled and then just randomly woke up. But the reality is, who the fuck was willing to buy this here? Let's be honest. The people that's going to be buying now, they probably bought here. As soon as it comes back down to their price, they're just going to start selling again. So I personally would never touch this, because it already rugged. And then they just posted a few stupid shit, because I did look into it. I seen it was up like 200x on kucoin. I was like, what the fuck? This coin got revived. But look at it. All they done was, like a few days ago, partner with DePIN Union, which is like one of the biggest DePIN pages. And then that's fucking it, really. And then it just went parabolic because they posted after months of not doing shit. But the people behind this project, and I told people, many people, I told them so many times, when this was like up here, because people wanted to, there's a few influencers talking about up here, right? I told them, don't buy this shit. Why? Because the CEO, even people in my group wanted to buy it when it was around these regions here. I told them, don't buy this shit, because the CEO has a history of rugging 2 previous projects, and he done the exact same shit to this. So now what's happened, because it's pumped, everyone's thinking, oh my God, is it going to come back? Reality is it's not. They're probably going to dump back this shit again, bro. Like, just be careful, bro. Don't buy this shit now, man. Shit is dead. What do I think about RA and BT? See everything altcoin bullish on it. Red Belly, I'm not a fan of Red Belly, bro. It's like they can claim whatever the fuck TVL they want to claim, but the reality is I don't really believe it, because they don't want to make the file public, which is weird. If you don't want to make the file public, then look, they've got half. This is the TVL on the DeFi side. This is how much people stake their tokens. 500,000. That's it. Just fuck all. Right. So, in terms of the project, 10x dilution, not the best. I think everything altcoin likes this project, maybe because it got into the pre-sale. So this is the difference between liking a project as an investor versus someone who got into the private sale or whatever sale they got into. That's the difference. So he might be bullish on it because he still might be up on it on his private sale call, but you as someone who's buying the token at the current price, I don't think is worth it personally. Yes, it will pump, but it's like 26 million with 10x dilution with fuck all volume, 500,000 volume. Why would you buy this when you could just buy projects like PropBase, which is already half the volume, has barely any dilution, because they have a strict vesting schedule with no, basically no selling pressure, a performance-based unlock, whatever they want to call it, has way more volume, like almost 5 times more volume. Why would you buy that when you can buy this, which is half his market cap, less dilution, way more volume, and has a working product? So be careful what you buy. I'm pretty sure everything Altcoin got into a private sale or some shit. So he's going to be bullish on it for that reason. Julius OS is good, my friend. I traded the shit out of it. Well, I traded it once, but if it comes down to a decent level, I might consider buying again. I think it's a good project. Botify. What the fuck is this? It's a Solana coin. Been doing very well. Damn shit done at 10x. This is like a music thing. Botify Cloud is the Shopify of crypto. AI trading bot. Fake partnerships. Nah, this is scammy, bro. It's clearly pumping though, so you can trade it. Nah, that ain't it, bro. To be honest. Creating an agent. Okay. So they got the marketplace. So you can create your own agent. It's not the best. The generating revenue, that's good. That's very good. Oh. Yeah, that's good. This shit is generating revenue. Have a clear roadmap. Tokenized AI agents coming in July and August. Yeah, they got an action-packed roadmap, it seems. Action-packed roadmap. May to June. Clearly it's not going well because they have a bunch of shit that still needs to be done. So they're clearly behind on their roadmap. It's a good degen pick, but obviously it's high risk because there's no docs team behind it. That's it. It's been performing well though. Just wait for it to bottom out. It doesn't look like this is bottomed out, my friend. It's bouncing off, but it looks like it's still in the same trend. So I would not be getting into this one right now. Let it bottom out. Yeah, I do agree with you, bro. Most of them are only short-term trades. That's it. How many X is 9 in your opinion? I think 9 will do between a 15 to 30X, in my opinion. That's what I think. 15 to 30X, just because they already have a bunch of shillers. But I think once their mainnet and testnet is live, they're going to be generating decent amount of revenue, which means they can start doing some real stuff for the project. Because, the thing is like, at the moment, NIE is only focused on their testnet and mainnet. Once that is live in Q2, which is going to come out within the next couple of months, month or two max, right? Now they can start looking at marketing, looking at getting more exchange listings because the testnet is live. And the launchpad's doing very well. 150 million NIE got staked for the launchpad, which is solid. DAI, I think DAI can do okay, yes. I think it can do okay. They're still developing, which is good. Thoughts on TokenFi? It recently got listed on Revolut. Launchpad got TokenFi is not too bad. I think it's a good normie coin, which means it will definitely pump. I think a TokenFi will pump. Tectum's dead. Yeah, I think Tectum's dead, bro. I'm gonna ride my bag to zero. That's just a personal choice because I don't like selling. I rolled my grape bag from $8,000. Right, this shit here, grape coin. I don't think it's on here though. Grape coin, this shit right here. I rolled this from up here. I think I got in somewhere here, all the way to down here, bro. I put $8,000 into this shit, and then just rolled it down, and now it's worth like pennies. And I'm doing the exact same thing with Tectum, and not only because I did moonback Tectum, but I also got more at like $5-6, whatever the fuck it came down to in August. I did buy more, but I'm still riding my tech term down to 0, bro. And the reason I do that is because there's a chance it could come back and do well. There's a chance. If there's no chance in something, then I would never hold it. There was a chance that Grapecoin could have came back and done well, but it's just gone to shit. So it's entirely your fault. I mean, your choice. If you think I'm personally going to write it down to 0 because I did make profits on it already, and I have a solid moon bag. But I did buy back, not as much, but I did buy back a decent amount in August. But overall on my investment, I'd probably say I'm probably slightly made a little bit of money on it. But whatever I have left, I'm definitely going to keep. Even if it goes to 0, I'll keep it. Just because Matic last cycle went down 99% and still put on 200-300 legs in the bull run. So there's a chance it'll come back. The team's still there, so there's some hope there. Why don't small DEXs coins like BLS Blue move much? They have good volume. I mean, look, you're talking about small DEX. Look at LogX. The reason it doesn't move is because the narrative, no one gives a shit. That's the thing. This volume dropped, but the TVL is pretty decent. But this is another one that has good volume. When the volume's gone shit recently, they probably have to get some more fucking trading bots. But even like stuff like Blue, the reason is because at the point in the market that we're in, the last thing people want to do is get into DEXs. That's not moving. Because when do DEXs ever pump anyways? They don't. This has good volume, 20 million volume, but volume does not mean anything. This is what people don't realize. Volume is not the be-all, end-all, because most of the volume is bots. If this did not have volume, if the bots, this will probably have like 1 million, 500,000 max volume, like when people are genuinely trading it. Most of it is just bots, and this is how you know it's bots, because HTX is the fucking biggest bot exchange in the whole world. And this is where most of the volume is in, over 50% of the volume. So it's fake volume. Do not fall for volume tricks, because the places where they're not running bots, like Mexi, has fuck all volume. At one point, when I was trying to buy this shit, I couldn't even buy it on Mexi because the volume, it was like 12K volume, and then I couldn't buy shit. This is the problem. So, it's just I was gonna buy into this at like 12 cents or some shit, but because I don't know, someone in my group told me to look into it, and it was like another DEX on Sui, but the volume was so shit. It was like 12, 15K at that point, that it was I just didn't bother getting into it because there's no volume on the exchange, and that is because of the DEXs, of the bots. There's no bots on this platform, on this one, but there's bots elsewhere. Bots over here, bots on Gate, bots on Big Get. So it all depends on where they get their bot. I can't get into Gate, Big Gate, or Mexi on this one, HTX, because it's banned in my country. So, I mean, a prime example, right, of how a lot of these shit is bots. Look at fucking AFA. This is the perfect example I like to give is AFA. AFA, has 20 million volume, but look where all the volume's at. Oh shit, they changed it around. The other day, the volume on this was like $12 million. The last time I was like 2-3 streams ago, the volume on this was $12 million on Albank. I've never even fucking heard of Albank, but that's where most of the volume for this project was. So they move their bots around. They have market makers, and the market makers move, liquidity around to different places. When Rio had the little FUD, where the Rio team was selling, in reality, what the bots were doing was it was selling from one place and adding liquidity to another place. And this is what happens with these bots. The smart bots, they sell tokens in one exchange where it has more liquidity, and then move it into another place that does not have enough liquidity, because at that point there was FUD and people were selling. So the bots had to make sure there's enough liquidity on every single exchange. There's a lot that goes behind a project with bots and market makers and etc. Because every single exchange has their own market makers. HTX, I said, full of bots. They have their own market makers. You pay them, and they'll increase your volume to stupid amounts. That's just not even realistic. I do agree with you with this, because any project that has some sort of American access tends to do really well, because America is the biggest economy in the world, and people like to buy. Why do you think ABT Art Block did very well? Not because it's some good coin, because the reality is not that good, right? One of the reasons he done it was because it was one of the only low caps on Coinbase. So it just exploded because all the retail investors came in from the US and just pumped the shit out of it. That's all it was. Am I still bullish? I've never really been bullish on Carrot. I like the project, I like the game, but because gaming's so dead, I always told people do not get into gaming projects because they're just so dead at the moment. And I think when gaming wakes up, Carrot will do well. It's just a matter of if gaming will wake up at any time soon or not. Did a good to see you, bro. Alt's making new lows. Yeah, look, this is what people don't realize, bro. Like Peak fundamentally is probably better than Alt, but even this just put in a new low. It's not anything out of the ordinary. It's just that confidence gets ruined. And because look at this, this is the exact same chart as Alt. And people will not for Peak because somehow Peak is way better than Alt. But Peak is obviously better than Alt. But it's in the same boat. You know what I mean? Look at the difference. The difference is Peak has a massive ecosystem. Everyone knows about Peak. It's not Peak itself, it's a fucking narrative that's dead. The reason Peak is not performing that well, number one, because obviously there's unlocks, but number two, because DePIN is dead. This is the most DePIN project you can get in the space. It consolidated for 3 months and then put in a new low, or the exact same thing, but at least fucking recovered back up into the range. Consolidated for 3 months, put in a new low, and then just recovered straight back up. I told people Peak is going to keep going lower till it gets close to the fucking early investor prices. And that's what it's doing now. I told the exact same people for Corpo, the exact same shit for this, because everyone at one point, everyone was telling me, what do you think of Corpo? What do you think of Corpo? I told people, do not fucking buy this shit because it's going to go to seed prices. And this is about 50% down from seed prices or 60% down. So the seed prices, and these people were asking me, what do I think about Corpo over here, over here, over here? It rallied up here. I did trade this move actually. Traded this, got like a 3x, sold it, thank God. And then now it's just only gone lower and lower and lower. So you gotta keep that in mind. Like these projects, if the narrative is dead, they're just gonna keep going lower with little counterbalance, rallies. And this is where the retail gets trapped. And this is where a lot of people are gonna do in the bear market, unfortunately. Once the bull market is done, there's gonna be a bunch of retail investors. What they're gonna do is on every single little rally we have, they're gonna FOMO in. And then they're gonna think, oh, that's it, but the bull market's back on, blah, 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 blah. So they're gonna FOMO in here, it rallies a little bit, they get excited. Then it dumps, and then, and then it rallies again, they get excited again, just for it to just end up doing something like this. This is what a bear market looks like. And then along the way, the reason it's pumping is because there's retards pumping it up. There's retail's bumping it while the exchanges and the team is just selling to oblivion, and it's going to bottom out. And then the smart investors, all the people that got in here, are going to go into a fuddy. It's a fucking scam, blah, 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 blah. The smart motherfuckers are going to come by here. Bull market starts again. Bear market is done. Printers turn back on, and then boom, it explodes 100x. That's what happens. The people that buy it here, they're going to FUD it, sell it, panic sell. They're going to do this. FUD his own bag, panic sells. This is how crypto works. It's not for everyone. And I always tell people this because if you're an emotional person, the last thing you need to be is in altcoins and in crypto. You should be in fucking stocks or Bitcoin only. If you are an emotional person or if you are over invested, you cannot be in fucking altcoins. This is a business cycle. It's brutal. It's gonna fuck up your mentality, your head, everything. And that's exactly what's happening. Look how many people are frustrated, bro. Everyone's frustrated. Oh, Alt's doing this, that project's doing this. The reality is the same across the board. It's not just specific projects. I just gave you Peak as a prime example. Ionet, what the fuck is Ionet doing? They make stupid amounts of money. And even this is doing the exact same thing. Although this has pumped a little bit. But look, it's been in the same range. Does that look like a good chart? Even though this is one of the best DePIN projects in the space, it's not the DePIN. It's not individual coins. It's just the narrative. This is what people don't realize. Peak is a prime example of that. Peak is one of the best layer ones in the crypto space, but because DePIN is dead, it's not doing anything. Once DePIN wakes up and all the people start rotating money into DePIN, this will be one of a decent mover at that point. So don't get confused on individual coins not doing well. It's all about the narrative. And a prime example of that is in November, December. When the narrative was hot, it done well. RWA done well when it became a narrative for a bit. AI agents, most of them done well when the narrative was there. So it's just, like I said, most people, if you're emotional, do not play this game, bro. It's not for everyone, man. Just wait till the next cycle, bro, when the printers turn back on and then fucking, What am I loading up on now? I've just bought like another million Oort recently. Not Oort, sorry, Nai. I've bought $1 million, not $1 million, sorry, 1 million more Oort, Nai, sorry. I've bought a little bit more prop base because I think once the exchange listing comes, it's going to have a decent rally, whether it's a 30-40%. I'll probably sell some into that pump, take a little bit of profits off that shit, because if the market's not bullish, then if it wicks up like up here somewhere, I'm going to take some profits, obviously, because I bought a decent amount here. I'm also loading up on, I did buy some more Sensei as well, because when the market does flip bullish, this is always going to be a fast mover. It already pumped 3x from here to here. And from here, from the lows of like 0.09, it pumped up about 3x. So it got to like 0.03-ish on Mexi at least. These are the three I'm accumulating right now. Let me go on my list actually. I bought some more Ondo. I bought a little bit more Rio. I accumulated some AI tech as well before the Kraken news. That's it pretty much. I already have a big bag of brick and I don't want to buy that because it's already pumped. At the moment, I'm just chilling. I'm trading. I have my bags packed. So if the market was to rally tomorrow, I'm more than happy, right? But I'm trading on the side at the moment. That's what I'm doing. Because my bags are packed. I'm more than happy with every single one of my coins. I just want Bitcoin to get above this level, and then we can call it and start. I think it'll probably go to 115 next. That's what my guess is. Off this line, 115. Do I follow the real estate cycle, G? Next bear market can be a long lasting as full crash across all assets. Let's see how. I mean, the real estate market is over leveraged in terms of, it's very, very hard for the average person to buy a house these days. It's difficult because it's gone so expensive. I don't really think the next crash will be the housing market. I think the housing market had this big crash, but there's no reason for the housing market, to have that crash. It will come down slightly, but not a crash though. There's a difference. A crash is a crash. A little drawdown is not. If the houses get a little bit cheaper, it's not. You can't really call it a crash. I don't really think that the thing with the housing market is people have been saying that it's going to crash since like 2022. So I don't know when it's going to crash, but I don't think the next big crash is going to be because of the housing market. It will probably be something to do with fucking, it will either be a deficit or default. Is either going to be inflation going back up, stagflation. We have more of a chance of a recession or stagflation than a housing market crash, in my opinion. I don't really think you should be too worried about the housing markets. It's doing okay. It's obviously more expensive, but does not mean it's going to crash. If they start printing 2026, would we get another rally? Well, you will get the biggest rally, and then what's going to happen is there's going to be the biggest wealth divide you'll ever see in your life. I think and I always say this, and I truly believe it, the gap between the rich and the poor is only going to get bigger, and there will be no middle class. I don't even think there's a middle class now, because the middle class is struggling like the poor people, and the rich people just stay rich, and it doesn't even affect them. It doesn't matter how high inflation goes, unless it goes to like 20%, maybe affect them. But I genuinely think we're going to see a massive wealth divide. And if you don't make money next year, 2026, next cycle, whatever, you're just going to be in the poor section, because the rich will only get richer next couple of years, I think. And then what's going to happen is, I think the fiat system is going to go soon. I genuinely think by 2030, 2032 latest, I think the fiat system is gone. And then what you're going to see is, you're going to see risk, like safe havens like gold just go parabolic. Silver is going to go parabolic. I think Bitcoin will be in that camp as like the fucking fiat killer. I think this will go parabolic, because the reason people don't really think as Bitcoin as a safe haven play, because Bitcoin has never ever gone through anything, that's massive, or like some sort of financial crisis. It was built after the 2008 financial crisis. It has not seen a financial crisis, which means that after this cycle, after we see a recession and Bitcoin holds up well or survives, then people in Wall Street are going to see Bitcoin as a safe haven, and they will go into this. And this is, definitely, if you don't have Bitcoin, you should definitely get some Bitcoin in the next, because Bitcoin is the only thing in crypto that's going to survive forever. And maybe 50-50 on Ethereum. That's it. Everything else is just going to fucking die. Keep that in mind. There's Ethereum, Solana, XRP, some of these bullshit coins. XRPs are bullshit coins. Solana's obviously got some sort of use case. But most of them are just 99.9% of crypto will die out. Do not marry any of your bags past one cycle, past one alt season. If you're doing that, then I don't know, there's no hope for you, bro. If you genuinely think somebody's like, even something like Oort, bro, I love Oort, but am I going to be holding Oort in the fucking bear market? Fuck no, I'm getting rid of that shit. I might buy it back in the bear market if they're still developing and doing what they need to do. But I'm not holding shit into the next cycle, because why would you do that when they all go down 99% in the bear market anyways? Nothing is bigger than the program. Everything's going to go down in the same boat, no matter how good a project is or how, like, this is why you don't believe none of the teams. Oh, we're going to do this in the bear market, do that. Like, shut the fuck up. No, you're not. If Bitcoin goes down, people in crypto will sell your bags. It does not matter. This is the 18th real estate cycle, 2000 crash, looking something like 2026. It could happen, but I don't feel, like I said, I don't really think the housing market is going to crash. Axela is a good, oh man, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, my friend. One of the real G's. This is a real G, bro. Altman. So this is a real G. I think Axela is okay. I think it will definitely pump. It's a good safe 5x play, in my opinion. Safe 5x play. If this goes to like 20 cents, it could potentially get into the all-time high region, which would put it at 1.2 billion. So it's a cool 5x play, in my opinion. I'll probably just hold it for a 5x. Anything past that will be a little bit too, Do I think decentralized AI is a sneak narrative since gaming looks dead? Also, really big on this. It will pump maybe for like a week. I don't really think it's a big narrative. Agree with 18-year intact from mid later. Crypto should peak well before. Oh yeah, crypto will definitely peak well before that. Definitely. Yeah, start T investing total. Yeah, I do agree with you, bro. GLS has always been a scam. Even my friends did not agree about it. They paid the price anyways, bro. They might get one chance to get break even though on fucking GLS if they haven't already. I think they probably already sold. Monday start leg up. So I'm not buying more Sensei. I did accumulate a few hundred, but my bags are packed. I'm more than happy for the market to go up, and I still have cash on the side if the market goes down. But in the middle, I'm trading. So I have my trades right now on Ondo, Lofi, and Tars. Ondo's doing well for me. Lofi is doing okay, up like 20-30% or some shit like that. Tars is being a bit gay, but if it comes down to my buy price and the market's not looking good, I'll just sell it. Review Foxy. Foxy is the main meme coin on Linear from my memories, and I'm pretty sure Linear is dropping very soon. So if Linear does well off launch, because obviously it's going to launch, it's going to pump a little bit, and it's going to consolidate. If Linear consolidates and then pumps, then because I'm pretty sure it's one of the best. I think it's on the better side on the layer 2s. I'm pretty sure it's one of the best Ethereum layer 2s. I do like linear, but because they delayed their shit for so long, a lot of the linear ecosystem coins like the DEX and the main meme coin has been struggling. So Foxy is the main meme coin on linear. Is definitely worth gamble. Look, once linear is out and it dumps, Foxy might come down, and then once linear rallies again, Foxy is going to rally with linear. There's also links as well. I'm pretty sure that's the DEX, right? I'm not tripping. Yeah, this is the DEX for linear. Yeah, look, the DEX for linear, $1 million market cap. Even this will most likely pump with linear. If you like an ecosystem, or if you like a chain or a coin, the best thing to do is either get the best meme coin on there or the DEX on there, because that's what's going to pump. The DEX is almost guaranteed to pump, and so is the meme coin. So if you want to take a gamble on it, depending if you think linear will do well or more, then Foxy will do well. It all depends on linear, though. This is what the problem is. How do I feel about Pendo? I don't think it's worth anymore. Can IO 5x from here? What do you think, please? Yeah, IO will do 5x from here, yes. IO will be a project in the next cycle as well. I'm definitely going to be accumulating IO. Look, I'm very bullish on DePIN because everything we use requires DePIN, whether it's your laptop, whether it's, look at why is NVIDIA one of the top companies in the world? Because of DePIN, because of GPUs and CPUs. So, it's a must need everything and everywhere. So DePIN will always be a narrative. The more advanced shit becomes, whether it's AI, whether it's technology, the more GPU power we need. And that is why I'm bullish on Oort. That's why I'm bullish on anything DePIN, whether it's fucking Ionet, Aether, Natix. All of these projects are good DePIN projects. GPUs, anything to do with GPUs. I don't really think Natix is that type of GPU, but they're like more like Dymo and Hive Maker, that type. But anything that provides GPU, nodes or whatever, will always do well when DePIN wakes up. Keep that in mind. And one of the other reasons I like Peak is because, and I'm not going to buy into it now. It's stupid. Anyone that got into Peak the last couple of months, they just going to keep getting fucked and fucked and fucked and fucked, and to the point where it goes down to a certain point where they might even give up, and then you might rally. Look at this. Came out. You bought here. You're already fucking down 50%. You bought here. You're already slightly down. But the problem is, like, anyone who bought, Peak for a while just got to keep getting fucked and fucked and fucked. That is because the unlocks will continue and the volume is shit. Like, look at the difference. This is $82 million in market cap with 4 million volume. It's terrible. Not the best volume. They need to start running some more bots. But Ionet is good for 5x. Aether is good for 5x. Even Peak is good for 5x once it bottoms up. So can we get a mini alt season from Bull? I do think we'll get a mini alt season before that, 100%. I mean, this is a very good chart. I showed this on the last stream. I'm going to get off very soon. But you could look at this chart that I'm about to show you guys. Where is it? This chart right here, right? Look at this chart. What's happened on this chart? What the fuck is? Let me get rid of all this shit. Look at this chart, right? Does it not look identical to what we had over here? Zoom into this. We had this rally up to the bull market support band. Let me go on the weekly. Actually, weekly is a better fucking thing is shit. So we had from here rallied up to the bull market support band. Can I zoom in even more? Let me see. Okay, there we go. It's even better now for you guys. We rallied up from here. Look, we rallied up from the bottom of the range to the bull market support band. Try to go above once, failed. Try to go above twice, failed. We came back down to retest this range. And then this was the November pump. We exploded back up. All Bitcoin pairs did really well. We come back down. We rallied over here. You see, we rallied up to the bull market support band, got rejected. And then I think once we put in a low over here, which could happen fairly soon to the 0.32 region, we most likely will, get maybe, hopefully, get another alt season like this, a little alt season like a December mini pump. And then we'll just go up here to maybe back up here, 0.5 region, and then probably have another stump. That's a big chance that could happen. Very big chance. So just wait for this to come down to this region, and then, or we could just get another rally over here and then come down here, maybe, extend this a little bit more. Then we could probably come down here a little bit, a little bit lower, 0.3 region, 3.1, rally first and then come down. Or most likely come down here, retest this, and then give us one more little mini alt season. So when the mini alt season comes in, the 2023 mini alt season got rejected off this. 2024 mini alt season got rejected off this. 2025 mini alt season get rejected off this. Come back down, go to the range lows. By that time, it could be into 2026. We don't know yet. And then Fed turns on printers, and then we go on and actually have a real alt season. Possible. I'm going to get off in 5 minutes, but what do I think? Let's just do some quick questions. What do you think to put assets of the bull run? The best thing to do is to put into stable coins, but spread it across multiple different cold wallets. But then don't just go into one, because if they're depeg, you're going to be fucking panicking. You're going to shit in your big pants. when you see your 500,000, 300K just go down 50%, whatever, or 99% of your depegs, you're going to be shitting the pants. So do be very careful. And one thing you should never ever do, and this is where the greed comes into a lot of people, is they put their money into yield assets into the bear market, thinking that they're fucking legit. This happened to so many people last cycle. Even a friend of mine put 500,000, into a yield asset, trying to get fucking 10, 20%, and then that shit rugged. He lost his money, lost a decent amount of his portfolio, and he had to learn the hard way. So never ever put your shit in a yielding asset, unless maybe it's like Ethereum or something. You could even put your shit in like a, I don't know, like a T-bill or something. You get a 5% for 2 years or whatever. You'd rather do that because that's safe and plenty of liquidity in T-bills. That's one way you could put your money. If you make your money legit, cash it out, move it to your bank, or you can just get yield somewhere. Just look for yield somewhere that's actually legit, and then keep some money in USDC, USDT, on different things, cold wallets. On the sentiment AI agent, Ariel, Leah, Colin, lowest market cap and best chart. AI agent does live interaction. I do like Leah. I did trade Leah back in the November-December pump because it was very interesting. Colin was another one as well that quite a few people in my private group traded, and it done very well for them. I got into Leah, they got into Colin, but I think they're good gambles because they're useful AI agents. Superman pumps Area 2. I have not looked into Area 2. I'll look into the other two. I definitely know Rhea and the thingy, but I don't know about Area yet. I'm definitely going to look into that one, my friend. Appreciate that, Troy. Every cycle top, new Discord group for new host side hustle. After cycle top, new Discord group for side hustle. I'm still going to have my Discord group because you can always short the market. That's what I do. Like when the market goes to shits and it's in a bear market, on every counter trend rally, short the market. That's how you make your money. And then you look, the problem people think, right? Bull markets work like bear markets work like this. It's a slow grind down for like a whole year. You're gonna have moments coming down, and you're gonna have a nice rally, everyone gets excited, and then everything just goes back to shit. Nice rally, everyone gets excited. So you can just keep trading the rally, short the lows, and then trade the whatever, when it has a little counter bounce. And then once it finally bottoms out, and then you can do the, it's never ever just a one thing. It's always going to be, weeks. Look at this. This was the bear market last cycle, came down, 1 week, 2 week rally, came down, another 2-3 weeks rally, and then we went back into, rally. So it's never ever just a straight line up and a straight line. It's never like that. This is how most people lose the money and get caught in the trap, because every single one of these candles are weekly candles. So over here, when everything dumped, we had this 1 green candle, 2 green candle, 3 green candles that obviously printed red in the end, and then came back down, did a double bottom. And this moment right here, a higher low, most people think, oh shit, are we going to go up here? They buy back in, and then it looks like it is, and then gets rejected off the 200-day moving average, and then boom, it goes down. It's never ever. When I always say nothing goes up forever, nothing goes down forever. You're going to have counter trend rallies along the way to trap retail investors. So there's going to be there's plenty of ways to make money, bro. Trust me. But in the bear market is when you should be the most locked in, because why is my portfolio still in massive profits? Despite how bad altcoins are performing, is because I bought during the FTX crash. You could have, bro, the amount of shit you could have got in the FTX crash that was literally pennies on the dollar. Even now, most of them are still up 5x, 10x, 20x, 30x, some of them. Your portfolio will still be in profits. And if you're smart, you could have taken profits here and then bought again, and this is how it plays. The bear market is the best time for you to get, locked in, because within 1 year, your portfolio can jump 30x, 50x, 200x, 300x. That's how quick markets will move after the cycle lows. What the fuck meme coin gaming looks like is a huge potential. I think meme gaming could be a narrative. Yes, I do agree with you. There's another one. There's a Barrio, which is like some meme coin / gaming on base. One of my Scrub J really likes that one. I'm not on Keto now. I missed that one. I seen it at 4 million because like some of the Twitter shillers I was following kept talking about it, but I just ignored it because I looked at the website and it was just like it just looked like an average coin, but it's like fucking crazy CT pushed. If I got in at 4 million, I would have been up over 100x now. Sometimes I think it's worth maybe taking a gamble, but I just so confused because I kept seeing this and all the influencers on Twitter just kept talking about it. I just ignored it, bro. I'm just too complacent. But I'm not in on this one, bro. I missed this one. I'm not jumping in now either, bro. It's too late. You missed the boat. That's it. Jamie, good to see you, my friend. How you doing today? Nearly 2-hour stream. I'm getting off very soon, bro. Mugen, good to see you as well, my friend. I appreciate that. At this point, can AI take reach $1? Because I feel like $1 low ball, no dilution as well. Tokenomics, excellent. T13, my friend, be very careful. I know AI tech is very, very bullish, but just be careful. You have to look from the market cap perspective and not price perspective. This is a fundamental thing that people oftentimes forget. At the very peak, for this to go to its all-time high, is almost a 10x. In terms of the market cap, it's only a 2x away from the previous all-time high. So for for this to do that type of numbers, it needs to reach $5 to $10 billion in market cap. And I think 1 to 3 is more realistic. 5 to 10 is not realistic in unless we have like a real alt season. So I personally would not get into that trap T13 because you're going to most likely become a bag holder into the next cycle, my friend. So be very careful not to get over bullish, because you have to look at the market cap, not at the fucking thingy. Because down here, there's $2 million over here. It's done like a decent amount, 200x. Dilution slowly kicked in because it was just doing stupid. If you got in at 40, 50x over here, right? But you have to look at the market cap. To get back to his all-time high, you're looking just over a 2x market cap perspective. So don't look at the price, because over all this time, dilution kicked in. The dilution kicked in. So just be very careful and vigilant of that T13. You're a good guy, but I don't want you to become a bag holder into the next cycle. You think Peanut will rise at the Ashes later this year? It will definitely pump at some point, yes. It pumped stupid amounts now. There's a chance he'll probably pump again. But the thing is like, these are whale pushed. Like, look at this to that. Look at the difference. It went from 56 million to 1 billion volume. And this does not happen Naturally, this happens because of whales. Whales get the fuck in and then they get the fuck out. So it's a 50-50, I think. Hit the like, guys. I've been live for almost 2 hours, bro, and I am gonna get off now. So I appreciate all of you guys for coming down today. 2 fucking hours stream is ridiculous. Ross just woke up. Ross, I know you're enjoying the brick and pump, my friend. I know you're enjoying the brick and pump. It's doing very, very well right now. Once the news comes out, you guys are gonna like it. Trust me. So it's very, very bullish news. Yeah. Yeah, definitely 213, my friend. Do not get caught for the $1, one to 3 billion. Good time to start, taking profits fast. So I definitely would not be holding to $1, bro. Like, it's just not gonna happen because it's just a business cycle. It's not a printing cycle. It's not QE cycle. So on that note, guys, appreciate all of you guys for coming down. Drop a like on your way out. I'll be live again when some major event happens. But at the moment, to summarize everything, Bitcoin needs to get above this line over here. I don't know why it's on the fucking weekly. Hold on. Let's go on the daily. If we can clear this, get above the bull market support band, then most likely we will reach the 115 region, I think. At the 115 region, $16 billion of short will be liquidated, which means they're forced to buy their position. You get massive short squeeze and the market will continue to go higher because it is all a leverage game. So enjoy the rest of your week. It is a Saturday night, so enjoy your Saturday. I was only supposed to be live for 1 hour, but I done 2 instead. But enjoy your Saturday, enjoy your Sunday. Have some time with the family. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Appreciate all the support as well.